Joining us right now on this and a couple of other things, our good friend Charles Payne. He is host of Making Money with Charles Payne weekdays, 2 to 3 Eastern on Fox Business. My friend, Merry Christmas to you. Always grateful when you weigh in on this stuff. I just got to get your reaction to that soundbite there. That's what, your all's Peter Ducey, we like to call it Ducey time, his question and answer with Jen Psaki late yesterday. What's your reaction to that when you heard that?
It's just, really, I think the word we're looking for is honest. Then she's just not being honest. And none of them are being honest. I mean, this is it's like someone pushing a one of those old school big iron safes off a 5-story building, and when it's past the 3rd floor, saying, "See, there's no damage to the sidewalk. No one down there is in danger." No, we know in another nanosecond, all hell's going to break loose. And here's the thing: the Democrats admit that they want these programs to be made permanent, and they know the strategy. They've said it out loud. Once people get used to these things, they never vote them down. Once these temporary programs become permanent, it's hard to reverse them. They admitted this so many times. So this idea that this is some sort of fake CBO score, no. This is an honest CBO score. This is what we're dealing with, and this is what everyone needs to say, okay, now they should be able to argue about the need for these programs than sans debt. If they're so needed, they should be able to tell the American public, listen, these things are going to be huge. They're going to cause huge deficits and mounting debt, but we think what they provide to the American people supersedes that.
Yeah.
If they can't make that argument, then they should skip it.
No, they should. I completely agree with that. And I feel like this is something we're going to see something. They're going to pass something. I'm thinking it'll probably be Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas. We'll get something before Christmas Eve, and that's going to be a nice Christmas gift for everyone. And then, of course, the debt ceiling, increasing this by $2.5 trillion. This angers me so badly. An individual can't do this in their private life. Democrats are going to be doing this. Tell people just because it's very easy to kind of go into the weeds with it. When you talk about the debt and deficit, I mean it still impacts basically how the average American family, what they feel at the table and how it's hitting their budget. But it's harder to get that feeling to be immediate for them. How do you explain to the average person, look, this is how this is going to affect the economy. This is how you're going to feel it just in your budget at home.
Well, it takes money. It takes money out of the system, and it makes the government larger and bigger, and it sucks up resources. So, it's hard to say, hey, how do you feel about a job that never materialized? But these jobs won't materialize. Yeah. We do know one thing, though, as these interest rates go up and the expense goes up, it's going to be catastrophic. And people already see. They're already rejecting the notion of bigger government, right? If you look at the inflation crisis, for instance, and how bad it's gotten and where people are right now, it is absolutely mind-boggling. Give an example. So we saw where wages were up last month, and the economy is doing well, except for one thing: real wages were down 1.9%.
Yeah.
So if you have an economy that's growing at 4.8%, but inflation is at 6.8%, I tell people very simply, you have more money in your pocket, you go in the store and you come out with fewer bags. How does that work, right? I mean, that's what it means in real life. And it's getting down to some really consequential decisions, life and death kind of decisions on what we will spend on home heating.
Yeah.
Those sort of things. And it's devastating. It is absolutely devastating. And again, I'm going to use the word honest here. Senator Manchin is being honest about the way this is hurting people. What President Biden and a lot of others would like to believe is that, okay, it's going to crush you right now, but at some point you'll be happy. Yeah. At some point you'll be thrilled that we're paying you money to stay at home with the kids. Even if the kids, even if you never go to work, even if the kids watch one or two parents never have to go into the workforce and they think maybe that's the way it is, and they never themselves develop the kind of skills or nurture the kind of gifts that they're giving that would give them some sort of a fulfilling life other than just existing.
Yeah, there you go. Talking with our friend Charles Payne, host of Making Money with Charles Payne on Fox Business. I want to switch gears here because the last time you were on, we were talking a little bit about Blackrock and if they were going to default, what's going to happen with them. And now, or not Blackrock, sorry, but Evergrande. And of course, Blackrock's related to this whole situation with China as well because Evergrande, their bankruptcy, they're bankrupt now. And it's affecting some huge players in our market. And of course, now you have BlackRock that's involved in it. Like this, is it possible that BlackRock and some of these other like hedge funds are they going to have to liquidate?
I don't know. That's the one thing about these sort of things. They're so opaque that we don't know until we wake up and you see the headlines and you see the markets. Sort of like when was it Lehman went out of business? They were bought for like pennies on a dollar on a Sunday. So it's one of these things. It's lurking out there because their books are so opaque. And let's face it, these companies are so big. I mean, BlackRock would probably be, if it was just an economy, if it was just a country based on the money it has and controls, it probably would be like the 7th largest country in the world, maybe the 3rd or 4th. So we're talking about something not that big, that powerful, and it's just there's no boundaries, right? I mean, where did President Biden spend Thanksgiving? There's no boundaries to their power. As we talk about raising taxes on successful plumbers, successful small business owners, people who are trying to achieve the American dream, some people who may have achieved it for the first time in the history of their family and would love to be able to leave some money so that the next generation doesn't have to discard. While this administration is going to war with them, there's nothing. They don't even talk about the private equity folks and paying more taxes, in that favorable tax situation they have. So the BlackRocks of the world are just always sitting there picking up the crumbs of what's left, often by fiscal decisions, these bad either fiscal policy decisions, and it could be by any country or government. We could see that with China and Evergrande, or some of these policies that make it harder for the average person to compete, and that's why they're buying up all the homes, and we're all becoming renters.
Yeah. I have to ask you, too, my friend, what did you do to get locked out of Twitter? You've been out since when, beginning of December?
Yeah, for over a week now. I don't know. I tried to get on. It's so weird. Here's the thing. I don't go too off. I don't on the politics, but
right.
I did point out a couple of things. I know I said something about the hypocrisy of the liberal elites, like Mark Benioff. Are you familiar with Mark Benioff?
Yes.
Yeah, very rich dude.
Yes.
One of his companies on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. He owns Time Magazine. I said something about the jobs report when everyone said it was fantastic, even though we saw in 3 months 250,000 black Americans drop out of the most amazing job market in history. I'm saying something is wrong. Something is wrong when you only create 200,000 jobs out of 11 million opens. Something is wrong. This is not a political statement. Let's be honest. Let's fix this because these are fellow Americans. Something is happening to fellow Americans, and something is wrong. They're suffering. They're not taking advantage of this amazing jobs market. So why gloss it over? Why not be honest about it? And then I posted pictures of my granddaughter in her first kickboxing tournament. So I'm not sure which of those things upset them at
I have
Twitter.
to say, I loved those photos of your little grandbaby going and being a kickboxer. That is amazing. And she apparently did real well, right? She won her match, didn't she?
She did good. She lost her fight, but the girl she fought was so much better than her. You know what was a beautiful thing, though, why she was a winner?
She learned from it.
She just never gave up.
That's
my
right.
goodness.
She learned from it.
She just never gave up. Oh, my goodness. This girl was doing this drop kick to her chest, and she would go backwards and come forward and start throwing punches, and she would grab her head. And, it's so amazing. Just I can't tell you.
I love it. You're so proud of her.
Yeah.
You're so proud of her. I saw the one picture where she was making blocks. Her fist, man. I mean, most people don't even know how to make a proper fist, and your granddaughter already does. She's going to be kicking butt and taking names.
She's ready. And by the way, she renewed at the kickboxing class, and she's taking 3 a week instead of 2 because she wants to win next time.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, congrats, Granddad. Congrats. And Merry
Thanks,
Christmas to your family. And thank you for your time
too.
this year. We're grateful for you, Charles.
You're such a wonderful person, and you do so many great things. I just wanted to say thanks.
Well, of course. Thank you, my friend. Always good to talk with you. Have a happy New Year.
You
Merry
too.
Christmas to your family. We'll talk again soon.
All right, see you.
And take care.